My manager at a high-end commercial print shop decided that our automated color and density sensors weren't reliable enough. So he instituted a mandatory rule that we had to manually calibrate the press layout using a physical magnifying lens and a paper chart before every single print run. He literally stood over my shoulder and said, "I don't trust the digital readout. You calibrate it by hand every single time, or I'm writing you up for cutting corners." So when our absolute largest publishing client placed an emergency order for 50,000 high-priority event brochures on a tight 3-hour deadline, I didn't argue. I just grabbed my magnifying glass, took my sweet time calibrating every single plate change, and watched my manager completely lose his mind as the deadline sailed right past us. I was the lead press operator, and our digital sensors were state-of-the-art. They could calibrate a new layout in about 15 seconds with perfect accuracy. But our new supervisor, Dave, was an old-school guy who hated technology he didn't understand. He was convinced the machines were secretly ruining the print quality. On a busy Thursday afternoon, the account director runs back to the floor sweating. Our biggest client needed 50,000 brochures printed, folded, and boxed for a massive tech summit downtown, and the delivery truck was arriving in exactly 3 hours. It was an incredibly tight timeline, but entirely doable if we ran the automated system at full speed. I started setting up the job, but Dave marched over, blocked the control panel, and demanded to see my manual calibration logs. I told him, "Dave, if I stop to do the manual chart calibrations for all 12 color plates on this run, it's going to add 10 minutes to every single batch change. We will miss the delivery window." Dave just smirked, tapped his clipboard, and said, "I don't care about the truck. The policy says manual verification. You do it by the book or you can go home right now." So I chose absolute compliance. I took a deep breath, grabbed my magnifying glass, and went to work. I meticulously checked every single alignment line, compared the ink density to the physical paper charts, and logged the numbers by hand. It was agonizingly slow. The account director came out every 20 minutes frantically checking the progress. And every time I just pointed at Dave and said, "Just following the supervisor's quality protocol." Dave stood there looking smug, thinking he was proving a point about discipline. By the time the delivery truck arrived, we had only finished about 15,000 brochures. The client's courier refused to wait and left with a completely empty truck. Because they missed the summit opening, the client canceled the entire $20,000 order on the spot and threatened to move their entire multi-million-dollar account to a competitor. The big boss called an emergency meeting on the floor 10 minutes later. He demanded to know how a veteran crew missed a standard deadline. I didn't say a word. I just handed him Dave's signed policy memo and my handwritten calibration logs with timestamps matching every single delay. The big boss read the logs, looked at Dave, and asked him if his magnifying glass was worth $20,000. Dave was demoted back to a basic inventory clerk by Monday morning, and the digital sensor went right back to doing its job. Turns out, trying to micromanage a high-speed machine with a piece of glass is a great way to watch your business run out of time.